studio once again, Father. Let us be able to say something to inspire your people, Father. We thank you for our lives and thank you for this new year. Thank you for letting us go into this Black History Month, Father. Let us be something, say something to impact your people for the days to come. So we thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you,
Continue to
Lord
watch over us,
Jesus.
protect us from
Yes,
anything
Lord.
not like you. In Jesus' name we pray.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let's get it in. Let's get it. Get this stuff going on.
Is that Marvin?
Hey, you know we gotta get tag and share, get it in. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. In the studio once again, me, Sean Williams, along with my buddy Hub. And we gonna get it in this morning. Y'all tag and share with some people, man, and let them know that we in the studio. WBTU Films coming to you live from Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. And so we got some dialogue for you. Got something here on this Think Some Wednesday. Walk through the wilderness. Never walk you in the wilderness. Walk through the wilderness, man. You gotta yourself. Walk to the wilderness. Hey, here's what we there's a thing presence of my hand. You gotta be the smoke through it. You can't let it get you down. I gotta pick you up, and that's what it is, man. Let's get it in. Appreciate you, Marvin Gaye. That was real good for us, but let's get it in. Tag and share. Let somebody know that Sean and Hub in the studio. Brother Hub, bless that mic.
Man, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. That's it.
Man.
He make me lie down in green pastures.
I had to adjust that camera, man. Man, I appreciate you being in the studio, man.
Yes, sir.
Today is February the 1st. February the 1st, the first day of Black History Month. I thank you guys that's on our social media that's jumping in on the live. Stick with us for a little bit. We gonna be with you for about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit. If it get good to us, we're gonna be here an hour. We're gonna be here an hour if it get good
edit.
to us. So, man, I appreciate it, man. Anything at the top of your head?
Just prayers out for the families, Pinye Allen and the Anthony Allen family. Just really, every loss is a loss, but that's a huge loss. Grew up with them on Fifth and Columbia in that area. I used to go visit my aunt and my cousins and them every weekend, and that's the area they built up. Tony Harvey and Joe Williams, Brian Carter, all them good folks over there. And so, what a loss, man. And I usually don't say things like, "Man, that don't even seem fair," but it don't seem fair. So, let's keep her family and all the other families in your prayer.
Yeah, from my understanding, funeral is going to be on this Saturday.
Yeah,
this Saturday at Pilgrim.
Okay.
With Pastor Parks and prayers go out to you, Hank. Man, I love you, man. Talk to Jimmy and the rest of the guys, man. We gonna love on you, man. You just kind of get yourself together. And I know it's a hard blow and a definitely. I talked to Carlos. Definitely hard blows to his family over the last year, man, with the losses that they done took. You know, and I had him chuckling a little bit. I know he's a man of faith, and but I told him, I said, man, when you go and you pray to God, man, you tell him to ease up a little bit because the pressure definitely been on, man. Tell him to ease up a little bit. He kind of smiled at me, you know. And so prayers out to you. Prayers out to my family in the past, and my stepmom and Estelle Williams. Man, I love her. She's always treated me with kindness, respect, man. Loved on me just as well if I was one of her kids. And so we send my heart and prayers out to my family in the past. Mom, definitely was a matriarch and definitely was a rock of the family, man, and held the family together after my dad passed away, and we stayed on, Walnut, Hickory Street, and all of those different things. So prayers out to my family and my siblings in the past, and mom, and all the other families. I mean, Miss Tamika and in the past, Carolyn Ruckers, Miss Yogi, them in the past, and Mario Biggers, families that I'm serving. Thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me be able to take care of your family during your time of mourning. And we'll do a great job. And I really appreciate it. And I don't take it lightly. You can go any place in town. But I thank you for giving me a respect for the business and being able to help me grow, because definitely the resources that I develop throughout my funeral home business go back to our community to be able to help us do what we do in financial literacy, get us out of the rut, gun violence, all of those different things. That's my concerns, because I'm from Champaign.
That's right.
I'm from Champaign. I'm Douglas Center Park. I'm Bradley Park. I'm the Village. I'm Lakeside. Dunbar Court. Whatever you want to call it, a BMK. I had to pass through the Williamses. I had to pass to go anywhere in the city.
Green Apartments.
Green Apartments. Anywhere in the city.
Country
I could go.
Brook.
And so that definitely gave me a green light to go anywhere I wanted to when I was a kid. And just sitting in I can think about it right now, sitting in Douglas in the park, sitting on the bench by the rocket. And just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, what my life gonna turn out to be. And I thank the Lord for planting my seed, watching a commercial on television back in the day. Be all you can be.
Come on, man.
Be all you can be.
Yes, sir.
And so that allowed me to walk down on Springfield Street to the Army recruiting station and say, you know what, man, let me sign up.
What year was that?
That had to be 1986.
86.
Sitting in, I can remember like it was yesterday, sitting on the bench at Douglas Center Park. Tony Brown, them had just got a Cadillac. He had probably got an 85 or 86 Cadillac sitting on some rims and some 2 inches. And Chris Lipskin came by, and he had a Chevy Impala blue with some crackers on it, with some music just blaring. And I'm like, dang, man, I need to get that, And I'm like, man, how I'm gonna get there? See, we think about the things, we come up with our dreams, we come with our vision, but how do we get there?
How do we get there?
How do we
now,
get there?
I'm gonna give you a fun fact. Now, you said that was in 86.
86.
And in 96, I was running the office, 1615 West Springfield. I was the commander of that office. You went and joined in 86, and God sent me here to run it in 96.
Ain't that something?
Ain't God good, man?
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Man, and so we got hot topics for you today.
Yes, sir.
We got some major stuff that's been going on throughout the country. I'm gonna give a backdrop, and then we're gonna get some dialogue.
Okay.
If you got anything you want to put out on the social media, we got our phones on. We can read some of the messages that's being put on. So if you got comments, put them in the comments section, and we'll definitely try to answer some of your questions. So Memphis, Tennessee. 2 residents of this still-stunned city told NBC News that one of the former police officers charged with the murder of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols pulled a gun on them 3 years ago and threatened to shoot them both in the face. Let me hit that again. One of the former officers charged with murdering Tyree Nichols pulled a gun on them 3 years ago and threatened to shoot them both in the face. Glenn Harris, 24, Demarius Harvey, 27, described their violent encounter with the former Memphis police officer Emmett Martin III just days after the department released police body camera and surveillance videos of Nicholas' arrest that sparked angry protest against police violence in Memphis and across the country. And so, fearing the arrest because they had been smoking marijuana and had a small amount of pot on them, as well as a registered handgun, the brothers admitted they tried to flee in Harris's car. He said, "I got scared," Harris said, adding he was able to evade the police for about 2 miles before crashing his car. "When I got out the car, I tried to run. That's when the officer Emmett grabbed me. He slammed me on the ground and pulled out his gun." Harris said Martin pinned him into the pavement with the knee on his neck and pointed a service weapon at his head. "I'll blow your face off," Martin said, according to Harris. Harvey said Martin also threatened to shoot him in the face. So we've all seen this on social media. We've all seen it on television. We all seen it on CNN. What's been transpiring down there in the Memphis. You called me. You was like, "Man, you see what happened down in Memphis?" And I said, "Man, you know what, Hub? Those guys probably been doing that for a long time."
You sure said.
And so what happened is that the Scorpion unit, a special unit that was that was developed to combat the gun violence and the murder rates that's going on in Memphis. And when we peel that onion back, so what we're going to do is peel that onion back a little bit this morning to be able to describe and tell the viewing audience what we think, you know, our opinions, you know, our views, our opinions on what we think, you know. And so what's your thoughts?
I just, a lot of people were shocked. And I'm not shocked at all. Because you got to know the climate, not only of America, but just the climate of the world and where we are in biblical days. And we are in perilous times. And I think Martin Luther King called it the midnight hour.
Wow.
So we in the midnight hour, anything goes. The rules of the game is there's no rules. People looking for love in all the wrong places. And so I wasn't shocked. It's very, very, very unfortunate. But I wasn't shocked, Sean. Not too much shocks me now because desperate people do desperate things. Now, I did want to ask you a question. There's a rumor on Facebook going out that the guy, that certain policeman, this guy was dating his baby mama. But I never seen that in paper. I only seen that in Facebook. Is it any truth to that? Do you know?
You know,
they said he sent a picture of the guy laying down to her, which to me is crazy. You're incriminating yourself, but I haven't saw it in the media other than social media.
You know, that's just right now that I haven't heard that from any reliable media source. So that's social media, you know, and before I stand behind that and push that narrative, you know, right now it is what we know.
Yes.
And so what we do know is this. This is what we do know. I always want to pull it back, and Mother Hattie would say, if you don't know your history, if you don't know your history, you don't know where you've been. You won't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So police in America was started to protect
and serve.
Was started to protect slave owners, their personal property, their cattle, you know, stuff like that, right? It was started to protect that, you know, people and their property, white folk and property. Okay, and so even to this day, we can see that happening across this country. You know, way they protect and the way different neighborhoods are protected opposed to other neighborhoods. Other neighborhoods are protected while other neighborhoods are
exposed.
Yeah, are exposed or penetrated through or take or ostracized or taken advantage of. You know, and so when they developed this type of special unit, I already had seen that these were the bullies. They had a gang. Their group was a gang, and they probably harassed brothers throughout that city because of the murder that's been going on. Now, what I do know about Tennessee is this. You don't have to have a gun card like the state of Illinois. You just got to have a state ID and you go get what you want.
Wow.
So when you peel back the onion back of all of the scenarios and the atmosphere of what we're dealing with, you know, I mean, the reason why they got their murder rate is so high because their laws are so laxed. And so that anybody can get a gun. And with this climate of rap music and who's in charge of that to be able to pipeline the prison, you know, because the same folks that's invested in the rapper is the same one that got investments into prisons. So now, you know, if you're a farmer, you want to see corn. So we just a victim of circumstance because that's the way we do our own people.
Right.
You know, black on black. When we say, do Black Lives Matter? No, it don't matter to them people down there because we prey on our own folk. And we do that even to this day. And that's the residue of slavery. That's the residue of slavery of the house Negro and the field Negro. That's the residue of that playing out, and we play it out every day.
One of the things that comes, and we kind of talked about this on your Sunday morning show, the mindset of being the law
Yeah.
I can relate with the police officers.
Yeah.
Because serving in the United States military for 20 years and doing 2 tours overseas, well, more than 2 tours, but 2 tours of war. When I was in Iraq, we was the law.
Yeah.
Stop sign, stop light. We don't have to adhere to any of that. And I had to cancel the top gunner on my team because we was on the convoy, the most 6 dangerous miles in the world from the green zone to Bayat, which was Baghdad International Airport. And man, he lit some Iraqis up really for no reason. Now, of course, we could justify. I still don't know what happened. All I saw is boom, they ran into a tree. I don't know if they lived or died, but what I did know is after we picked up the medical supplies and got back, I fired him. I fired him because he had a mindset of lawlessness, recklessness. And I brought 49 soldiers over there, and I wanted to bring 49 back. I wasn't looking for no smoke. But the mindset of being able to, you got the big guns. He was 50 cal. We got the 50 cal on the back. We lighten up anything. But the mindset of there's no rules, you can do what you want because you the military, man, if you don't be careful. But what I understood is I wanted to come home.
You know, when you mentioned that 50 cal, so we both were in the military.
Yeah.
We both was on ranges. We both were trained, and you get certified for
Yeah.
that type of weapons.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get a certification. See, that's a problem right there.
Right there.
That's a problem right there.
Right there.
It's passing a test.
Right.
To even be certified to handle that type of weapon.
Right.
I looked at the news this morning. A young kid, I think 14 years old, got killed in Decatur. They playing as it might have been a 12 to 14-year-old playing with the weapon. And the 16-year-old is now in the detention center over there in Decatur. Playing, nobody's physically training anybody on how to handle a weapon. So when we dealt with a 50 cal and we went to the range and had to shoot a 50 cal to get qualified on the range to be able to handle that type of weapon, we noticed that them bullets was that big.
That's right. That's right.
And
yes, sir.
That big around.
I got the millimeters in my mind. But go ahead. It came to me.
That bullet was
yes,
that
sir.
big around.
Yes, sir.
And under the Geneva Convention, the Geneva Convention is where all countries come to the table and make a standard.
A standard.
They make a standard or policy. This is what we're only going to use this weapons for this specific purpose.
Right.
And it was for armored vehicles. It wasn't to shoot nobody. See, but now we're using those type of bullets on the streets in America. Stuff that's used to shoot armored vehicles like those, and so that the listening audience can understand what type of vehicles is the same vehicles the raid van. You can't shoot nobody but vehicles that look like the raid van or like a Hummer. You can't shoot Humvee. You can't shoot no vehicles but stuff that look like this.
Sir. Yes,
so
sir.
the standard is lower, and that's what happened to make these officers do what they doing. Is that the standard has been lowered. Nobody's holding them accountable for the actions, because if you seen the video after they noticed that they were on video, they started trying to justify the action. But you had already, there was too many cooks in the kitchen that spoiled the soup. So you had already done messed up. So you start saying, oh, he was like an animal. Oh, man, did you see the way he tried to fire on me?
He had to be on drugs.
Gun. He had to been on dope. See, and then they went, and then they even went further and started altering the paperwork. When they got back to the office, they started altering the paperwork. And what it tells me is that ain't the first time they've been doing it. They've been doing this. They've been going in drug dealers' pockets, taking money out their pockets for their vacation.
Lawlessness.
And that's what's been happening. And those are the things. See, what happens to us, that's the working class folk. We so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses that we never focus in on the things that are important to make us even pass the Joneses.
The thing that stood out to me, and I don't want to throw you off, but the thing that stood out to me when I watched the video was discipline. They lack discipline. They lack discipline in their physical lives. So you know they was gonna do anything lawlessness because they weren't even in no kind of shape, man. And so they huffing and puffing and spraying it, they self in the eye, man. What came to me is lack of training, untrained. These are some officers that are untrained, because in the midst of chaos, man, they were spraying each other. They lacked discipline. They were untrained. If it wasn't from a man getting killed and getting beat, it was really funny to me. Yeah. If you take that part away, it was funny. It was like watching the guys who we call it CCF, Central Correctional Facility. If you get in trouble, but you don't get in big trouble, they take you to here to try to get you back online. We called it college for cool folks. It was all what we call the 8-up soldiers. Remember the 8-up? Oh man, they 8 up. And so you put them in a group as you get ready to, either you're gonna decide to retrain them or kick them out. That's what those guys reminded me of, some 8-up soldiers.
Arizona Ron AZ, he was in the Navy. He said, I just can't believe that a special unit was formed to prevent this kind of recklessness. Basically are doing the same thing. And it's just what we do on each other. It's what we AZ is what we do when we get power. It's no different than you get to supervise the job over at Crab.
Right.
And now you the house brother.
Yeah.
You the house brother.
Yeah.
And then you got all the other brothers and sisters working for you. And then you start acting like them.
Or being the gatekeeper for the town.
Man.
We got gatekeepers. They've been keeping the gate 15, 20 years. They incompetent, but they got a relationship with them people. And so they handpicked them to keep the other ones in town. And that's why we can't progress, because we need to open the gate.
Yeah, man. I mean, bro.
Don't get me started.
Well, Brother Hub.
I done got good. I used to name names. I don't name names no more. Thank you, Lord, for helping me to get better and not bitter.
Man, we've seen a lot, over the years. We've been a part of a lot. For me and what I do, right?
Yes, sir.
It's just to try to open up the eyes of the people that want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Of the people. The Bible say, he that had an ear, let him hear. But so many of us don't like the truth. When I tell the truth, they don't like the truth. But the Bible says, not Sean, the Bible say the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free.
The truth.
You got to keep it 100 with yourself.
With yourself first.
You got to keep it 100.
That's what Shakespeare said.
You got to keep it 100 with yourself, man. If you're trying to get better in 2023, at least to keep it 100 with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do the man in the mirror on yourself. Check your paperwork. Check over your history. If you're gonna do some corrective behavior. But at the same time, a lot of times we look at some incidents like what happened to that. Some people might not see no wrong in that, and what happened to that young man. Or we get so immune to it that it's nothing but another young man killed.
Yeah.
It's nothing but and then I looked at it in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
When white officers did that to a black officer, we went berserk. We was at the mall here, tearing it up. You know what I'm saying? We across the country tearing it up. But when we seen somebody else black, then we come up with excuses and justify why they did it.
Well, it's a lot of, we'd be here all day because there's so many perspectives you can look at it from. A lot of people are looking from where the blue ain't back in the blue right now.
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying? And then you got black on black.
It's just, within 48 hours.
Yeah, it's just so many things. I want to go back to what you said about be true to yourself. Even with these officers, a lot of our enemy is our inner me. See, my worst enemy is my inner me. And so these guys, for them to put themselves on the line, whether it was the rumor that the guy's girlfriend had, or whether just in general, for you to do this, man, you don't like yourself. For you to do that to somebody else, is something going inside of you.
So what you did, you opened up another can of worms for me, right? So sometimes the preacher need a preacher.
That's true. He sure needs somebody he can talk to.
And sometimes the preacher need a preacher. So let's go down the road of agape love. You know, what is agape love?
Unmerited. You don't deserve it. Just love. It's just love. You don't earn. It's not earned.
So,
and it's in spite of anything. No matter what I do, if you love me, you love me.
So I was listening to listening to Dr. Jamal Bryant, right? This past week, right? Had a good old message, right? And he said, nobody can cut you like kinfolk. Nobody, I'm gonna repeat that. Nobody can cut you like kinfolk. So when I look at these officers, right, and I look at the way they stood the brother back up and hit him some more, and then took them those military style boots. We called them
not steel toe.
No,
Cochran's.
No,
jump boots.
No, we called them. Oh man, I can't think of the name of them boots right now on the top of my head. But those are military style boots. We got a special name for it. They got a brand name that the military uses, and officers use those boots. You know, for rough terrain, right? Rough terrain. And when he kicked that guy in the face with them, it automatically was gonna cause a lot of trauma and a lot of damage. I mean, teeth getting kicked out, those type of things. It showed me that they had no love. They didn't see that as being their nephew. They didn't see it being their brother.
Or they son.
They didn't see that being their son.
Yeah.
See, they'd have been upset if that had been their son. See, the agape love would be correction, correcting the guy, at the same time showing him love during the correction. And so when our parents used to whoop us back in the day, they'll be whooping you they'll be whooping you at the same time telling you that they love you at the same time. Now it might be a shoe. It might be a rope. It might be a stitching cord. They telling you I'm protecting you for the future. I'm hitting you because of love. And it was the correction with love, but they wasn't trying to harm you or kill you, take you out. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times, man, we see somebody else that look like us, or it could even be a family member, man, and we don't even care.
Sean, I used to get upset and I used to worry about what people feel about me or what they think about me or why they don't like me. And one day the Lord said, man, folks wake up in the morning and don't like themselves, and you expect them to like you. Man, that freed the slaves. Man, you can't be worried about it. We get one trip around here, man. And man, there's a whole lot of people wake up and they don't even like themselves. And for them to beat that guy like that, they don't like themselves. I love the way you said they didn't look at him as their nephew or their son.
No, man.
They didn't look at that.
No.
And so we have to understand that people just don't like themselves, man.
You know, why I do believe sometimes, you know, we don't need everybody to be incarcerated in prison. I do believe that. I do believe that, you know, sometimes some guys need to sit back and do what CC and Jackie them did for us. Hey, man, these guys into it, man.
Right.
Put these gloves on.
Right.
Knuckle up.
Right.
And a good old eye shot can change your whole life. A good old gunshot can be corrective behavior. Because you like, man, I don't want that type of smoke. Let me get my life together. I don't want to be with them type of guys. I got into that brawl. I don't want to be in them type of fights no more. Let me pay attention. You know, and so I do believe that, you know, and so
well, let's for a couple of minutes, let's apply what we talking about to the gun violence. All this gun violence out here, shooting in broad daylight.
One of the young men we knew. One of the young men in the community that we know personally, you know, that was at the program of the father of the young man that got shot.
Ain't that something?
Now here he is out here trying to combat gun violence, talk to young folk, and now one of the main speakers that we was trying to help injure his kid. Ain't that something? See, a long time ago, right? Joe Stovall come to my shop. He said, Sean, he said, man, what's going on in Champaign? I said, Joe, I said, you know what? We don't really know each other.
we don't really even know each other. I said it's because we don't communicate. We don't got no love for each other because we don't talk to each other. See, back in the day, social media and telephones, cell phones, and all this here that made us disconnect. You know, back in the day, if you had to put the information out about a party, you go from house to house.
Yeah.
You know, you knew everybody's phone number. You knew 100 phone numbers in your head. In your head. And, hey man, so and so in there. Can I talk to so and so? See, you remember having to ask to talk to somebody? Now you just pop up on the phone. So now we got to disconnect because it's only the people that's in your Rolodex. But back then, you might talk to 5 people before you talk to the person that you want to talk to on the phone. That was communication. But a lack of communication. So, my buddy Butter would say, they had a failure to communicate. So we don't communicate no more. So we don't got no love for each other because we don't talk. We don't even talk to our cousins. We very rarely have a family reunion. If we do, it's once a year, every other 10 years. So, I mean, by the time you meeting folks again, you didn't met a stranger. You meeting a stranger all over again. And so that's one of the reasons why the Black community is broken and dysfunctional the way we dysfunction. And we working off dysfunction. We working off past traumas and pain. Because we never end up solving them. We never talk about it. And even when we have this, it's funeral after funeral. Like they finna do the young man funeral today. Now we gonna keep on going after this funeral where we pull out a little liquor, we wear the t-shirt, next man up.
Next man up.
Until it happen again. Because we go back to our own silos. We don't try to change policies, procedures. We don't try to build up a high school student that's in the 11th grade and say, you know what, you're going to be our next police chief. We're going to build you up. See, but when the Roe versus Wade happened back in the 60s and they lost they rights to be able to say that abortion, that they can, that abortion was banned, and they lost that to say abortion's banned, and then we got able to have abortions. What they started doing is they started back in the 60s building up their young people to become Supreme Court justices. See, they were strategic, surgical in what they did. So it didn't happen in 2022 or 2021, but they got their man in. They got their woman in that believed in what they believed in. See, we set back because of our religious mindset. We keep on praying on it with no action behind it.
Well, you know what? I relate what you just said to parenting, and we talked about this a little bit on your show. My daughter came to me at 10 years old. Said, Daddy, I know what I want to be. I said, what you want to be? She said, I want to be a lawyer. I said, oh, we got that covered. So she immediately started working in my shop. By 12, she was running the shop by herself. And I never forget, all my kids played basketball. I was the freshman coach, and the head girls coach came to me and said, Angela just quit basketball. We haven't even been a month. And I said, well, let me talk to her when I get home. She said, Dad, I'm not going to play no college ball. I'm not really that good, and I don't like it like that. But what I do want to do is I want to be a lawyer, and I want to make sure my grades are top flight. Oh, man, I'm all over that. And so we talked about this. The Bible said children are arrows, right? And so we the bow. And so the same thing you said they did with Roe, we have to do that with our children. We got to navigate our children now. Brianna's a senior, a state champ, and 6 months ago, she talking about she want to fly. Huh? I ain't never heard that. You sure that's what you want to do? Yeah, you go. Okay, well, we finna go on these college visits. Now she going to SEMO, and we finna now the scholarship part, the track gonna pay for, but the flight part between us and the military, we're gonna have to pick that up. But my thing is, we have to push our kids into destiny. We have to find out what they want to do and help them navigate. You talked about decision making, and a kid ain't old enough to make decisions. Well, you got to set parameters and let them make decisions inside of the parameters. But my point is, the same strategic way that you just expound on, we got to do that with our children. I had to go to Better Free Library twice a week. I had to. It wasn't no choice. I already knew what it was. She dropping us off at 6 and picking us up at 9. Credit percentage for the performing arts, man, that was my third home. Wow. And so what you just said about Roe versus Wade and they getting their man in 20 years later, that's how we got to do our children.
Yeah, man, you can't sit back and just think it's just gonna happen. And what we've been doing is sitting back and we just been just throwing our people out there a shake of the dice. We have 8 kids and a shake of the dice. Maybe 2 of them will come out of here 7. Maybe one of these kids will come out and that's 11. But what happens is that we haven't. First of all, we don't got no substance. We don't got no substance. So when we ain't got no practice in, we ain't learned nothing. So then we have these kids, we download what we know, which is nothing. So then when we shake them out there, 7 of them throw craps. One of them might end up saying,
yeah, one of them got a friend that his dad and mom on point. Rich dad, poor dad.
7 of them come out deuce. One of them might come ace deuce. Yeah, ace deuce. One of them come out a deuce.
That's good that you don't forgot though. That's good.
One of them come out.
Glory to his name.
One of them come out with a deuce and a 1.
Yeah.
Now you done lost.
Yeah.
You know
that one come out snake eyes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then so we got to be a little bit more surgical now that we got more information. Yeah. There's no sense of having all this technology around us and we don't expose ourselves and know how to use it. Yeah. I mean, for to be in 2023 and you don't know how to turn on a laptop or an iPad or know how to use your phone for more than TikTok, man, you behind the 8 ball. I mean, we in an era right now where we got AI, where I won't even probably need a person on the right side of me or the left side of me to talk to. I could talk to a robot, and the robot gonna give me data from across the world and conversate back and forth with me. And if you don't believe what I'm saying is true, then look back over our time period with Walmart. When we had cashiers everywhere, or Kmart, when we had cashiers everywhere. When you had customer service reps, and you had the blue light special, and somebody was on a mic. Now ain't nobody on a mic. Now you go to Snooks, and you got way more automatic checkout lines than you got somebody even standing up there that want to do it. And the person that's standing up there want to do it don't want to do it.
Don't want to do it. Go use that.
They don't want to do it.
I sit there and wait. I need somebody right here.
I just watched a video of a full digital McDonald's. The whole thing is digital. You go right in, you put your order in, I want the Big Mac, the number 2, and then the thing come out. If you put your card in there, no cash, it's cashless. First of all, it's cashless. So they don't want your tools and your fuse, your rolled up dollar. You got to have a card. So digital wallet is what we're talking about. And that's the new way, digital wallet.
And they're going to say, because the money got COVID on it, so we don't need it.
And I'm going to tell you what that is all about. It's called blockchain technology. See, man, when they see, when you see me on Facebook, you see me promoting these classes free to the community, is for us to gain knowledge together. And I'm gaining so much more knowledge because I'm around people that's trying to grow, that's trying to learn, that's having conversation, that's doing the research. I mean, my young kids like Titus and some of these other kids that got, that can speed read, that got knowledge, they coming back sharing.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime you teach, you're going to learn.
Man, come on, man.
Just my New Year's resolution was to start doing some substitute teaching, man. Let me tell you something. It's been amazing. It's really been amazing what I have learned just from teaching. And so that's the beauty in that. Anytime you teach, you're going to learn. But and here's what I'll say to my grave. We got to show a better picture. We got to show the picture. They need to see a picture. Some of the parents need to see a picture. And we have to show a better picture of what success looks like.
You know what?
Because Lil Durk, Lil Dead,
oh yeah,
Lil Uzi,
they showing a picture.
They showing a picture.
They showing a picture,
and it's a strong look.
They showing a picture. You know, I was talking to my kids. and I was telling them, and we talking about it. So big shouts out to Tracy Dace. He been bringing kids over to our financial literacy stock market class. Big shouts out to you, man. Thank you for the love. Thank you for sharing, because we don't like to break bread with each other. Thank you for breaking bread, brother. But brought the kids in. We're talking. I'm showing them how to, stocks and this and that and other. So it's an ETF called LVMH. Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. Okay, it's an ETF. It's a bundle of stocks, a bundle of companies under one stock price. So you can get like Walmart, Target, let's see, think of another, Lowe's, Costco's. You can get them all under one stock price. Instead of buying individual, you can buy them all in stock. So that's the way Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy is, and it's luxury brands. So I'm talking to the kids, and I'm saying, hey, look, would you rather buy the stock? The stock price is $846 a share. Would you rather own the share, one share, and being an owner of the company, where you get a dividend? Dividend means you get a check from the company, every 3 months. So for being an owner, how many of the shares you have, you get that amount of money, because they're making an influx of money, right? And so I said, would you rather get a check every 3 months, or would you rather own the Hennessy or the Louis Vuitton or the Balenciagas? And he said, well, man, Mr. Sean, I'd rather own the Balenciagas, and I'd rather own the Hennessy, because, even then I ain't gonna get talked about at school, because I'm gonna look fly. I'm gonna be drinking fly. That's what the kids say. I'm gonna be drinking fly. See, that picture you seen, the picture you talked about. See, that's what he's seeing in the video. The Moet and the Cristal and all that. I don't even know all the top drinks they got now, but they got all this drinking and stuff going on in the video, and all the big bundles of money. They ain't showing them digital wallet, because they ain't walking around with $500,000 in a briefcase. The Mayweather look, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They ain't running around. They got a black card. Yeah. Now it's a black platinum card.
Yeah.
And so they're not doing that, but they want our kids to think that. And what he bothered me when he said that he won't be laughed at. See, he wanted to be fly, so he don't get laughed at. And I remember being that guy. I remember being that person, that didn't have the fly clothes on. I mean, me and my brothers talked about it, sharing clothes, and those type of things. And it makes us check out, because we don't fit in. So everybody's trying to fit in. So what I was trying to tell my guys is, don't fit in. The crowd ain't got nothing. The crowd don't do nothing but attack. The crowd don't do nothing but cause chaos. The crowd connects with confusion, and that's what they prey on. What rural America? I'll say rural America. What they call us is low information people. Let me say that again, so you can pick up some information. What they call us is low information people. You don't know nothing, but we think we know everything. And so what they do is take advantage of the lack of knowledge.
Ignorance.
The lack of knowledge. They take advantage of that. So they'll throw the shiny stuff to us when it's really worth nothing. It's fool's gold.
It's fool's gold.
It's fool's gold. And so the information is the real knowledge, because one thing about knowledge, it's like me being a barber. You can't never take it away from me. I can cut hair with my eyes closed.
That's right.
I can go sit up in a bathroom, a barber shop, this office, on somebody's porch. Back in the day, Miss Annie Mae, I set up in her driveway and made money. Me and Chuck. And she sold dinners. So you can't take that skill away.
Can't take it away.
When you learn the knowledge of something, you can pass that down. You can give me this sweatsuit. But I can't pass it down to my grandkid because it's gonna be out of style. They'll say, "Oh man, Dad, that's out of style."
I told my son and my daughter, he's 3 and she's 4. Y'all ain't got to play in the NBA or the WNBA, but you gonna know how to referee. You gonna have a whistle, some black shoes, a shirt, and some pants. You gonna get it. you're going to be 16 years old running around refereeing. Now, when you get out of my house, if you choose not to do that, that's on you. But you're going to have some skills to know how to survive. You're going to have them. And that's what you're saying. We got to equip these kids to be prepared for the change, the technology change, the workforce change. We got to equip these kids. And I'm going to go further than that. From my house, I'm equipping mine to be able to lead the ones that's twerking. I want y'all to be able to, I don't want you to judge them. I want you to be able to influence them and get them a pick 'em up.
You know, I'm finna tick off a lot of coaches right now. What I'm about to say.
Shout out to real quick. Shout out to Bookie, our number one fan from Urbana. Bookie, we love you. Shout out to Sko Hayes, who told me today, Hub, you ought to be on campus coaching. The way you move with those players, man, the way you can impact them kids, you ought to be on the U of I coaching. Love you, Sko Hayes.
I'm gonna say this statement, and I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna tick off some coaches. I'm gonna tick off some parents. If you continue to only focus on the athletics of your kid to be able to get to the NBA, you're doing them a disservice.
Pimping them.
You're doing them a disservice. You selling them a fool's dream. If you're a parent and all you doing is trying to wrap that around so that y'all can get out the ghetto, when you don't make it to the place that you are prepared to go to, then what you gonna do is have a dysfunctional adult staying in your home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because they did not make it up to the level of success that you then gave them this dream about. You always got to prepare those young folk to be able to pivot. This don't work. So I'll tell you what, one of my kids, our kid, he was in our class, and he used to always say, well, you know, Mr. Hub and Mr. Williams, I got basketball.
Right.
I got basketball.
Right.
And as he got more and more indulged in the and learning how to stocks and how that move and doing his lessons as far as school and that, this, that, and other, he put the ball down.
Right. But it's a piece to that, and I'm gonna shoot on it because it and I'm gonna give it right back to you. It goes back to what you said earlier. But he only put the ball down because I told his dad, now who the parent here? How he gonna make a decision like this? And we the parents. And the light clicked on, and Pop said, oh, no, man, you finna come over here, right? But you said earlier, preachers need to be preached to. My wife has written a curriculum, and I don't know when we're going to apply it. We haven't really applied it, but it's called Parent University, man. And I want to give it right back to you, so I'm out the way. But a lot of times the parents need help. The parents need advice. Did I throw you out? I didn't throw you out. Okay.
No, you totally didn't.
Okay.
And so, but that kid, I thank God for that kid. That kid is self-efficient. He paying for his own college. He working his job.
Yeah.
He know how to take his money, put it in the market, make him some bread off the market.
And he really ain't trying to work for nobody.
He really don't want to go to college.
Yeah.
I had to convince the young man to stay in college because that's the pass to get in the party. I had to make him understand in that language. That's the pass to get in the party. It's a VIP party going on, and you got to have a ticket to get in.
Or you got to have your own. Cause see, I'm pushing another agenda, and I'm you got it. That's what I'm a trade.
So that's what he said.
Yeah,
I want to create my own table.
Yeah,
but I told him it's all about relationships.
Right.
Because even when you have your own table, you're going to have relationships with other people to expand your table.
Right.
Because it ain't about just you and yours.
Right.
You always got to have a purpose, and it got to be bigger than yourself.
It got to be bigger than you.
See, your purpose got to be bigger than you.
Yeah.
First of all, your purpose got to be a reflection of what God would want so that he can continue to bless you.
Yeah.
So that way you don't get stomped out. Because if it ain't God ordained, he stomps you out. That's what happens. You get stomped out. You start losing vision. And that's what's wrong with leaders to this day. They don't take nobody nowhere because they've been stomped out because they have no vision. And then they get old and they can't continue to carry the torch and they have no successor because you never had a vision for successors.
You know, I'm real small-minded, and I admit I'm real small-minded when it comes to my kids, right? Especially my kids at JW Ader. What I learned is you can't bring anybody off the streets to talk to your kids. Mm-hmm. You hear me? Because it's a direct reflection of you. Mm-hmm. And I have kids that were scarred 5-6 years later, that were scarred based on who I put before them. So you got to be careful. We so desperate now. Mm-hmm. We so I'm finna throw a rock now. We so I can't think of a better word than desperate to try to show that we doing stuff to help. We just pulling stuff. We in the military, we call it leading by the seat of our pants, man. And if you don't know leadership or you don't know structure, you fool a lot of people. But I ain't fooled. You hear me? It's sick how desperate we are to put certain people in front of these kids.
So Brother Hub, we got about 10 minutes, mm-hmm. and I want to leave some thought on these folks.
Okay, again, okay.
Right? So I had my kids. We do our stock market class. We switched it from our Fridays and the Saturday evenings to our Tuesdays and our Wednesdays. And so I had my kids in there. We was teaching them. Big shouts out to my man Hunt for teaching the classes. So I'm asking them questions. You know, how many people in the United States of America? Okay, so the population of the United States of America is 334 million people right here. Okay. The population in the world is 8 billion people. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I want to give you some fat on your head so you left with some numbers, because people lie, but numbers don't lie. Mm-hmm. They're meeting, Biden is meeting with, I can't even think of the man's name, for the U.S. Senate, the majority leader, meeting with him this week. I think today, mm-hmm. about raising the national debt. Mm-hmm. So that means that when you hear talk about the national debt, we study borrowing money and producing money that we don't even have.
Yeah, we don't have.
Okay, so it's $31 trillion of debt that we keep on making money. Mm-hmm. See, the United States, we own the treasury, mm-hmm. so we could just say print 17 more trillion dollars, mm-hmm. because we need more cash on the street. Mm-hmm. See, that's what we can keep on doing, even though it might not really have value the way it's supposed to have value. Mm-hmm. But we can say we put more money on the streets, mm-hmm. right? And so when you look at 335 million people, right? You look at the workforce, people that's working, 159 million people working, okay? You look at people that's not working, not in the labor force, 99 million people ain't even working, mm-hmm. okay? People that's medium income, the medium income of these people mm-hmm. that's working is $35,000, mm-hmm. $35,000. U.S. bankruptcies is 452,000 people. U.S. foreclosures, 98,000 people. Without insurance, people that ain't got no insurance, 27 million people. You can go find this on usdebtclock.org, and you can see the rolling tab. You're looking at it right now.
Right now.
And it rolling.
It's rolling.
And it's in the red. Green meaning good, mm-hmm. red meaning bad. Mm-hmm. Okay. When you look at people that's living in poverty, 42 million people living in poverty mm-hmm. today. 42 million. When you look at people that's on food stamps, 45 million people. Mm-hmm. Medicaid recipients, 83 million people. Mm-hmm. Now, Black folks only make up 12% mm-hmm. of that 35 million mm-hmm. people. Mm-hmm. So it just ain't us. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying this to say it's us. Mm-hmm. Retirees, 57 million people retired. Disabled people, 8 million people disabled. Mm-hmm. So we could go, man, this thing is a wealth of knowledge, because mm-hmm. you got to know what your competition mm-hmm. is. You got to know what the battle is. Mm-hmm. You in a war, but you don't know anything about the war you in.
Well, I talked to you earlier about climate. We got people walking around in sub-zero weather with Speedos on, because they don't even understand it's winter. They don't know the climate we in. Right. And so when you don't know the climate you in, you set up for failure out the gate.
Man.
You don't. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You destroyed, man, and those are staggering numbers, man. That just looking at that, it motivates me to be prepared and to have my family prepared, because this is a train wreck.
Let me tell you something about the school thing, because we got 6 minutes. Student loan debt is $1,776,854,464,000, and it's steady rolling.
Mm-hmm.
It's steady rolling. Mm-hmm. Per student debt, $39,000 per student. Mm-hmm. If you break it down to the students that's out there trying to get information. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
That's
$39,000.
Okay.
The average student got at least $39,000 worth of student loan debt. Credit card debt. Mm-hmm. See, the thing that we talked about in our classes, because we have a global conversation. It ain't just about stocks. It ain't.
No, it's about life.
It's about life. It's the global conversation, the best conversation that's going on in this community. We talked about credit card debt because we already knew inflation was on the rise and this, that, and other. And the average American ain't got no money. We got Christmas came up. We had all the commercials. You feel bad if I can't afford to go buy my kids no this. Well, let's get a credit card. Let's put it on the debt. We're gonna get more debt. We credit card debt in the United States is $1,220,746,160. 70, 80, 90.
Still going.
That is rolling.
And counting.
Look, it's rolling right now. It's rolling right now and counting. That's debt, credit card debt. So we can't never get out the hole.
Can't get out the hole.
Well, our head in the sand. And folks make money off your debt. We sell debt. You got people calling you right now about an old debt 10, 15, 20 years ago. Because the debt is sold off to somebody else. Just because you got a debt don't mean you might owe $500. They sell it to somebody else. Hey man, give me $80. You get this man debt and then you sweat him.
Can I do a commercial for your financial literacy?
Yes.
Me and you was in my shop, about 2 years ago. Colosino was working there under Tracy Dates, man. And we had one unbelievable day.
Oh man.
One unbelievable day.
Yeah. And we were just doing stocks.
And I ain't had a credit card bill since. I instead of taking that money and holding it and say, yeah, I'm gonna get more, I pulled it right out and whoom.
And paid your credit card
off one good day in the stock market. Yeah. One good day.
And we're finna have some more good days.
Yes, sir.
Because everything
we ramping up. When we get ready to go to war, we gotta ramp up. We gotta ramp up. We gas the vehicles up.
The stuff that we learning, bro. Stuff that we continue to do, the stuff we pouring into our kids, they asking questions, they're amped about, because not everybody want to play basketball. And the kids told me that. And I'm not trying to be an NBA player. The kids told me, I ain't trying to go hang out at the game. The kids was telling me. So out of the mouth of babes, they gonna tell you. One of the kids told me, he said, man, I don't want to be at the crib. It's too much going on in my house. Same way some kids told me at my barbershop years ago. I said, hey man, what y'all doing? Who y'all with? You can't be in here. Oh, they said, Sean, there's too many people watching my TV at home. Man, can I sit right here for a while? Man, let me go down to this Arab store and get y'all something to eat. Man, what y'all want, some chips and juice and stuff? Got them some chips and juice. And them kids never left. They grew up in my shop. Until they got grown, I had to really put them out because they were doing something different.
Yes, sir.
And I done, no, man, now you got to get out of here. Because you're doing something different. But they never left the shop.
And it's so much to equip them with. One of the things that I really want to get off into, and I'm telling my secret, but one of the things I really want to get into is teaching my kids real estate. It's one of my secrets. But this real estate, man, I'm getting in this game, man, and it's taking me longer than it should, because there's some people around here who could really been a game in the game. But one thing about me is I'm gonna figure it out.
We shouldn't have to keep starting from the beginning
but
of the beginning of the line. We already 200 to 400 years behind.
But give me 30 seconds, and the rest is yours. I understand that because of my heart and my thinking. If I give Hub the game, he gonna give everybody the game. So I ain't gonna get Hub the game because we only want certain people to have this game. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be patient and wait for God to open heaven and pour it down. And because he gonna give it to you because he know your heart. Right? And it's getting better and better. And I'm understanding. We went to a real estate class and the dude died. He'd been teaching there 30-some years. We was the last class he did. The last one.
You know what? I'm going to drop the mic. I'm going to get up out of here on this right here. But I'll tell you this right here. And I want you to always remember this here. One of the things that Dr. Jamal Bryan dropped in my spirit before I got up off that video, he said, your worst enemy is a former best friend. Woo! I thought about that thing. Your worst enemy is a former best friend because nobody want to see you better than them.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you the game because they think that they know what you got in you. See, they've been watching you. They know what you got in you. And if he get this information, I can't catch you. But the agape love said, we go together. We got a relationship. If he get it, then we get it. But that ain't the way people look at it. I can't let him get that because he gonna take off. Oh, he gonna shine. We worried about individually shining when we supposed to be shining as a community. Now we making a national stance. We setting policy for the rest of the nation because we get it.
Karma is real though. I believe that.
Yeah, but you know what? But one thing that I had to free myself from this morning, I had to free myself throughout the night. I had to do the battle within. Man, look, bro, keep on loving, keep on doing, keep on shining, keep on loving.
That's because you hard at it. You don't listen to me sometimes.
I gotta listen to me too.
Yeah.
And so what I'm gonna do, man, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, man. Look, I thank you very much for tuning in. It's funny how time flies when you're having fun, man. Brother Hub, appreciate you, man. Love you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for working out with me.
Yes, sir.
Getting your stuff together.
Yes,
2023.
Yes, sir.
You in the gym.
I'm in the gym.
You in the gym.
It's February. I wasn't supposed to last a week, Sean. They said that was a New Year's resolution.
You're gonna mess around and have a beach body by the time the summer comes, man. You might be able to look good in a white beater. I appreciate you, man. Love you guys and thank the Lord. Thanks for watching another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. Peace.
Due by 2023.